Oh, we're back for another Knuckles Knowledge podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host, Big D, Darren. We're in different seats today. We've got a very special guest. Every guest is special, isn't they, really? But right from Blackpool.
That's not Blackpool. I think Orstein.
Hazel Winter's joined us. Thank you, Hazel.
Hi.
Good, good. First question. How many nicknames do you have?
Oh, a few, is it? Yeah. Oh, you got on that?
Yeah, I've got like Savage,
is,
Ninja,
yeah, well,
Ninja Savage.
Yeah. Savage came because obviously I'm sort of been adopted by Gary and we opened Savage MMA. So it's how people find me on social media. The Ninja sort of came from a part of my journey in martial arts. So I used to do a lot of weaponry retraining like samurais, nunchucks, staff. And
I never knew this.
Well,
I never knew this. Oh, go on then, explain.
So when I found Gary, he obviously knew where I'd come from and trained with Gary Stubbs doing weaponry. So he was and then he obviously seen how I was just a bit tough and that. And he was like, oh, you're a ninja. And I was like, keeping that one.
Wait. What sort of weaponry?
I used to love the staff. Mostly, so basically, if you go to the pub with me and I get a pool cue, baby. So samurai I did for a little bit, nunchucks a little bit, but mostly the staff. But I've not done it for years and years, to be fair. But the nickname stuck.
Aikido stuff, what Steven Seagal does.
No, but I did a bit of Krav Maga. I did a little bit of that for a little time as well.
What's that? That the one where you're fighting multiple people?
Hand combat, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's they use it in the Russian army, I believe, something like that. But to be fair, it never. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's all right, but it's not. It's not at all. No.
I seen a bird on TV recently. She's a black belt. She's got a pink gi.
Oh, stop
And she was showing all this great.
Don't it cringe me out.
Good morning. Yeah. She's you put your fingers just there and you whack it just there.
You shouldn't even be able to show that on TV because that's never going to work.
I think she's good. She's got get her on here.
On her bio, 4th degree black belt. Black belt in what? It can't be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, it's definitely not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I think she's black belt and being a badass.
4th degree black belt.
I like her.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, I don't know. I don't think what she showed would work personally, but
yeah.
It's
a TikTok one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it got her a lot of views. Everyone knows what she's about now, but I don't know if that.
I don't even know her name.
Neither did I. Paid no attention. I was like, no.
I put it on my story. Was it to say it would not happen what she was?
I put it on my story.
Yeah. She was like, if you fall to your knees, the guy will come over your shoulder, and it was just
Which is a good judo throw, isn't
Yeah.
Brilliant, but no, I don't think so.
Wouldn't have happened.
Definitely not. I wouldn't use that technique anyway. I'd rather, and I know how to fight. Oh, shit, sorry. Not the mic.
You can swear on this show. She said shit.
Yeah, I know how to fight, but instead of all that shit she was showing, and I actually know how to fight now, I'd like to say I do, I'd kick someone in the balls before trying any of that shit.
Oh, see, no, that's not nice. You can't do that. It's a bull shot.
Yeah, but if someone's attacking you.
So, do you think giving birth or getting kicked in the balls, which one hurts the most?
Getting kicked in the balls. Birth was fine for me. I was literally, honestly, my
labour,
literally, my waters broke while watching a Uriah Faber fight, and within an hour, my daughter was born. I had no pain relief, nothing. I was at the hospital. She just popped out. Yeah, I had abs over my pregnancy belly. Yeah.
I've never seen an ab.
Real life as well, yeah, literally. I understand some women have really, so this is no disrespect to any woman that's gone through hell giving birth, but honestly it was sound. Yeah, I haven't had another, but that wasn't because the pregnancy was bad.
I always think getting kicked in the balls is worse because
yeah, it definitely is.
When you give birth, you think, it hurts. Can we have another one? Yeah. When you get kicked in the balls, you don't go, do it again.
Yeah.
You never say that, do you?
Yeah, I think men have it worse kicking in the balls. I'll stand by that.
So how did you get started anyway? Let's go back to the beginning.
The very beginning.
Right back to the beginning, when Hazel was a sweet young girl.
I don't know if I've ever been sweet, but I was once young, believe it or not. So basically, what do you mean, getting into martial arts or? So
the way I look at it is, you're quite young still, but when you started, you were younger. Here's what I'm doing here. And back then, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu wasn't really as big as it is now.
No, definitely
And it was very male-dominated.
Very
So being a female, getting into that type of sport, where would that come from?
So, I mean, I got into the sport different reasons to most people, really. I think I went through a stage where I think if I'm honest with myself, I got into it because I was very frightened and I didn't want to be frightened anymore, but I was also very angry. So I went through what I call darkness as a child. I don't really like to put on words like abuse and stuff, but I like to say darkness. So I went through a very dark time in my childhood. And in that, I got I was very withdrawn, and I was very sort of isolated in myself, I think. And at a certain stage, when I came out of school, because I was very isolated in school as well, I didn't really have any friends. I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I was very isolated. I had eating disorders and stuff, and that sort of secluded me as well. And obviously I had all this stuff going on in the background, which no one knew about. And when I got to a certain age, I started to obviously realise what had been happening to me, because when you're very young, at the age 5, 6, you don't like it, but you don't know. So when I started to learn, I got very angry. And then I fell into a cycle of drugs, alcohol and crime, which most people do through trauma, and I get that. But with me, I never wanted that, really. So even when I was in that cycle, I always knew that it wasn't really what I wanted. And I didn't really want to I wanted to find,
fly again. We were there last week.
Flies everywhere. But I wanted to, I didn't want to be frightened anymore, and I certainly didn't want to be angry. But while I was going through the drugs, the alcohol and the crime, I realised that fighting was like a release.
Yeah.
And
Do you think you were doing the other stuff because you hadn't found training?
100%. I think when your self-worth is stripped away, you find anything to sort of pull a blanket over it.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that I will say. I never wanted to do that, and I knew I was doing that. And I knew damn well every time I took drugs, every time I had a fight on the streets, or every time these bad things were going on, I knew I was trying to cover up what was going on deeper. Yeah. And I was aware of that, which I'm quite grateful for. So I think I realised that I was enjoying fighting. I knew that I was, and I knew I was tough. Listen, through what I'd been through, I knew I was tough. I knew I could, nothing would faze me, so to speak. But I also knew I was frightened still. Even through all this, I was very frightened. So I started doing kickboxing, and I enjoyed it and stuff like that, but it wasn't really giving me what I wanted. And then I went and did ring girling at an event, which was, I'd never seen cage fighting, I'd never seen MMA, and I went and did this ring girling, and I remember watching this fight, and they were on the ground, and this guy was underneath, and he now I know he won via armbar from the bottom in guard.
Oh, right, okay.
And I remember it just something clicked, how's he in that bad position, and he's won. And it just triggered me. I knew I wanted to do it, so I went away. And when I found Gary Savage, who I own the gym with now, he's I honestly say to this day, he saved my life. That man saved my life. But when I started training, I knew I was angry, and he saw me fighting, and he was like, "Wow, this girl's tough." Because I was tiny. I mean, I was lighter than an atom weight. I was 44 kg, I think, at that time. And I was in this room with big guys, and I wasn't arsed. I'd spar anyone. I'd roll with anyone. I didn't care. And Gary was like, bloody hell. And obviously he learned about me. But I remember when I started training and stuff, I remember thinking, this is what's going to make me, this is what's not going to make me frightened anymore. If I can do this and I can become tough, because really I wanted to become tough to start with, but later on I realised I didn't want to become tough. I just wanted to not be scared anymore. I wanted to be know that no matter what comes in front of me, even if it does defeat me, I'm not scared of it. And obviously, for me, a big thing was stepping on the mats. This sounds stupid, but I'd still even get times now. Stepping on the mats and rolling with guys for me is a big barrier to get over. It's weird. And I'm over it now. Obviously, I trust all my training partners, things like that. But I've gone through so many things. And as I was doing that, I always sort of knew that I was on the right path. The more I could do this, the more I could overcome these fears, the more I was doing something good. And I was also not letting what had happened to me in my past define me. I was making it develop me. And that's what I wanted the most. I wanted to get something good out of all the pain that I'd felt. And if I could, and because I enjoyed it so much as well, it was worth it. Because every time I left the mats, even if I'd had PTSD moments or whatever during that session, every time I left, I felt great. I felt great. And every single time I trained, when I started training at the Blue Room with Gary, honest to God, every time I trained, I left feeling a tiny bit better, a tiny bit better. And to me, that overcame so much for me. like massively. And I just became obsessed. But when you say about a girl in the MMA back then, honest to God, it was tough. Like it was so tough because I'd go to train at other gyms. There wouldn't be girls. There would just be guys. And like, you knew when you sat on the mats, and I'm sure girls get it now, they didn't want to partner up with you. Guys didn't want to partner up. I was fortunate I had Gary. He'd always say, right, change partner. So everyone sort of got the go with me. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, like I did get people, like I'm so fortunate now. That gym's like my family. They're like my brothers. And I do understand now people like me sticking through the sport as sort of like other girls have to have been accepted. But there were so many times, listen, I have been like sort of poo-pooed off the mat, like, what are you even doing it? Listen. And there's been times as well where I've had guys with big egos. There'll be one time stands out to me, and I'll tell you this little story. So this guy's come in, he was a Polish guy, to the blue room. I'd been training about 3 or 4 months.
We love Polish guys, by the way.
Yes, no, we do. But
Polish Pete.
He was big, like huge guy, and he come
like
on.
Darren.
Yeah, massive, huge.
Big D.
Like you, Kieran.
Well, thank you.
But he come on the mats at the blue room, and he had an ego. We all know the guys that come on with an ego.
Yeah.
And Gary had a lot of faith in me, and he said, you go and roll with him, Hazel. And I was like, really? Really? And I remember rolling with this guy, taking his back and choking him out. And
knocked the ego out of him.
And I knocked the ego out of him, but also I thought, oh my God, I'm getting good at
like
this.
What you could do to people as well.
It was mad because when Gary said, you go and roll with me, Hazel, go and tap him out, I was thinking, I'm fucking tapping that cunt out. Are you mad? But I did.
But just before that, you said you did kickboxing.
I did kickboxing for a little while,
With the kickboxing, were you going through that when you were going through your darker phase? Did you just go into a kickboxing gym?
Yeah.
And then train there? How did that sort of manifest itself?
I found basically I'd started like scrapping on the streets and stuff. I was getting involved in a lot of crime. I was taking a lot of drugs, and I sort of I didn't want to really do. I wanted a hobby, I guess.
Yeah.
I wanted a hobby, and I thought I wanted to be tough as well, like I explained. And I thought kickboxing was like, everyone knew about kickboxing. It was easy to find. So I thought, I'm going to go and give it a go. So I found a guy called Lee Douglas, and I trained with Lee for a good, like, off and on. Because to be fair, when I was kickboxing, it never really interested me fully. So I was very off and on. I was still
How old
very
were you then?
distracted. So I was probably about, I'd say it's a good 20 years ago. So I was probably about 22 maybe.
Yeah.
About 22.
So you're still really young at this stage.
Yeah, I was young then. So I found kickboxing first, but it never grasped my interest, so to speak. So I was still very rebellious. So I'd train, I'd do a few weeks, then I'd disappear and go and get wrecked or do what I was doing or get arrested or whatever. Then I'd come back, train again. So I was very flippant in and out of it. I never took it seriously. I just wanted to do it as something to do, I guess. And then obviously the weaponry came just a bit after that, because it was when I went and did the ring girling thing for the MMA event. I went and said to Lee Douglas, who was my kickboxing coach, I was like, right, I want to be a cage fighter. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, I've seen this cage fight and I want to be a cage fighter. And he was like, you're right, go and speak to Gary Stubbs. So he put me onto a guy called Gaz Stubbs, and Gaz Stubbs did the weaponry and he did traditional jiu-jitsu. And I was always saying to Gaz, I get what we're doing and that, and I like it, but I want to do cage fighting. And I used to go on to him all the time. So he introduced me to Gary, because Gaz Stubbs started training Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And when I first met Gary Savage, he was like, because I was like, yeah, I want to be a cage fighter. And he was just like, pardon? Do you mean mixed martial arts? And he was like, so what do you do? And I was like, yeah, I'm already doing jiu-jitsu. And he was like, where do you train? And I was like, with Gaz Stubbs. He's like, so you're doing traditional jiu-jitsu? You're not doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I was like, yeah, I am. I'm doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu already. He was like,
how many conversations you had like that in this gym? You know what I mean?
No,
I've had a million cage fights. I've been in street fights. I'm well hard.
Right. Yeah, but I thought I was already sort of doing it with Gaz Stubbs, but Gaz Stubbs instituted, and I was like, yeah, I've definitely not been doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
So how did the ring girl gig come along? Yes.
So I was a lap dancer for a little period of time.
Oh, okay. Which club was this? I've not been there yet.
I've not been there yet. So I did it's very interesting. I've got lots of sides on it, very angles everywhere. So I was a lap dancer for a short period of time, and through lap dancing, I met a girl called Leah. She's a very, very good friend of mine.
Was that a stage name or was that her actual name?
Well, that's like a stage name, but it's shortened for a real name. So Leah she's still still my good friend
Leanne.
now. I went to a wedding. I go to all the kids' christenings. I was out with her the other week. She's a very good friend of mine. So Leah, I lived in Ibiza with Leah and we did lap dancing over there. But Leah got this gig, ring girling, and she took me along for it. And I thought it was just going to be boxing or whatever. And then it was this. It was a cage, and I was just. And then when I seen that armbar from the bottom, it changed my mind on everything. I was just like, "What is this? How we're learning this?"
Yeah.
What do you think about men being like ring boys? Because remember that promotion with the all-female promotion had like ring boys doing it.
That's amazing.
I know, I was going to do it, but
You could do it. I
could do it, man.
Kieran.
Get out my belly, get that bod out.
Yeah.
Wiggle it around.
Do
a bit,
it. I could see you strutting a cage.
I can definitely strut.
Yeah, it was never for me. I mean, I did it, but I was always like, I'd get in there instead of being, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Definitely had a violent side to me.
Yes, I know. The hardest fists in the north or in the country. Never fist bumped this girl, ever.
Even the handshake before.
No, I wouldn't do it. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
We need to fist pump.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Good.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It doesn't really.
So, what was the first MMA fight like you saw, like sort of mainstream? So I know you've seen a lot of local fights. Which was the first one? So for me personally, it was Tito Ortiz versus Ken Shamrock 1. When I was like, oh, WWE Ken Shamrock, he's fighting in this cage. This is great. And obviously Tito kicked the absolute living shit out of him. You know, he looked like
I don't even think I've ever seen that fight.
Oh, UFC 40? 39?
The show used to be on Bravo, didn't it? Before
Yeah. It was on Bravo. It was Ken Shamrock, Tito Ortiz. Right, great interview, great press conference. Tito was like, I'm going to beat Ken Shamrock up and then we've got a party in this place here. Great. After that, I'm thinking, wow, this is great. So I'm thinking, okay. So it's not WWE or WWF back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll watch the next one, where it's like Randy versus Tito and Chuck was around. So that was sort of what got me into it.
Yeah, so
What was your first fight?
So mainstream fights, what I'd say what everyone was watching. I'll be honest, when I started training, I wasn't really interested in like really watching it at first, because obviously I'd go and see local shows or whatever. And God, do you know what? I've watched that many. I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Like, I've got serious like brain problems. Like, obviously, I forget everything. Like, it sounds mental, but I've got a blue badge now, and I'm very proud of my blue badge, by the way, because
Park anywhere.
Well, no, I just don't remember anything. It's like really bad. So honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the fights that stand out to me, like I said, when I gave birth to my daughter, I was watching a Uriah Faber fight. Yeah. That one always stands out to me.
Against who?
I can't remember. I just remember it was Uriah Faber.
Was he in the WEC?
No, it was
UFC.
It was a UFC fight, yeah.
Yes. I'm getting...
I think it might have been...
in WEC.
I think it might have been against... oh, God, I can't remember.
Cruz, wasn't it? Could have been Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, Dominic Cruz, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that's like a fight that stands out to me. But mainstream, I do remember watching Rosie Sexton, because Rosie, I met Rosie.
Dr.
Rosie Sexton. So I met Rosie at Grapple. I went down, I took myself by myself to go and do this grappling comp.
Took yourself by yourself?
By myself, took myself. Is it brain damage? Stop it. That's tight. You're cruel.
I'm sorry.
So I went and I met Rosie, and she offered to like for me to go up to her gym and train with her and stuff. So I remember looking into her. Yeah. I remember looking into her and watching her fights, and then I moved on to watching. So I was very big on the women in the sport, and then this was like I'd been training a fair bit at this time. But then I found Gina Carnova. Do you remember Gina?
Gina Carano, yeah.
Oh my God, I loved her. Like, do I say her name wrong? For years I've been saying that. How
Gina
do you
Carano.
say Carano? And I call her Gina. I am so sorry, Gina Carnova.
Carnova.
Carana.
I said Corona then.
Gina Carana.
Is it? Yeah. Well, I've been saying it all my life wrong.
She actually dated Henry Cavill, you know.
Really?
I know, lucky so-and-so.
Is it?
I know he's tall and he's good looking and he's got beautiful teeth,
I only
body.
ever watched a fight. Like, I got into her.
She's in Deadpool.
Yeah, I knew she was in Deadpool, yeah, because there's a few now that have gone through making careers, but she was one that I watched.
Yeah, she's a pioneer.
And then Anderson Silva, I remember his fight standing out to me at the time, because it was like the spider. I remember watching his fights early on and thinking, oh, look at the way he moves. But the thing is, when I started watching fights, it was after I had Lola, actually. Gary said to me and Gary had watched fights or watched people in the gym, and Gary said to me, you have got such a good fight IQ. because I think this is why I started embracing coaching as well, because I'm not blowing my own trumpet by any means of the thing.
If you don't blow it, no one else will.
Well, don't get me started then. No, I'm joking. But I've got I know I've got quite a good fight IQ, because I can watch and diagnose fights quite well. Yeah. I can see openings and I can figure fighters out. And it's weird how I'm quite like, my brain works quite well with it. So I remember watching Anderson Silva years and years ago, and I just remember it. I saw like how different he was to other people at the time. Like, and he was something like quite special at the time. And I remember watching him thinking, fucking hell, yeah. And then he got his leg broke, didn't he? Dickhead.
Yeah. How did you navigate that? So you had, you got your little girl. You're training. You're an aspiring fighter coming through doing it. How do you negotiate being a mum and as training and working?
Early on,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot now.
But he's at it at the minute. He's being a dad. He's working.
It's
doing
worse
golf.
now. Trust me, it's so much worse now being like a single mum. When I had Lola, I was with my daughter's father at the time.
Was he also a fighter?
No.
You dated a civilian?
Yes, I'm very sorry about that.
No, it's not a bad thing. Some people like to date people in the industry. Some people like to date civilians.
Oh no, I would never, ever date anyone outside of the industry. Well, I wouldn't date anyone. Well, but yeah, I've not dated really in the industry anyway. I'm not known for that, which is quite nice.
Me neither.
Yeah, but yeah, at the time when I had my little girl, her father was on the scene, so to speak, but I struggled getting back to training, because as much as he was on the scene, I was sort of left to hold the fort as well. And I was running another business, so I'd opened a salon. I'm a makeup artist as well, you see. Not so much anymore, because it's like sort of took a back seat. But so I was running this other business, and I was trying to get training in, but I think that's when I started coaching more, because Gary could see that I was struggling getting to training, or getting an excuse to leave the house to get to training, giving my partner at the time a reason to not be at home looking after the baby, to be at the gym. And me wanting to do it wasn't enough. He didn't support me in it at all. So Gary pushed me into coaching, so then I had to be at the gym because I had a class to take. And I was very grateful of that. But it did open so many other doors for me. So it started me focusing on other people as well. But without Gary doing that for me and giving me that channel, I'd have struggled even getting to the gym, because like I said, my partner at the time wasn't really supportive of me training. Wanted me just at home, sort of like looking after the child, not really having a life. And I've always wanted what I want. I'll get out and get it, like no one will stop me, sort of thing. So luckily I had Gary on board, and he was like, right, well, we'll get you a class. You can start coaching. You're good at it anyway, Hazel. Look how you are with like, again, my fight IQ, things like that. And he's like, and you're the one person that when you leave the gym, I know you're sat at home watching, analysing fights, watching like whoever's coming up for a fight, the past fights, this and that, like, because I will, and I still do it now. I'll sit and watch MMA for hours. Like, it's insane. I'm obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with it.
Well, Darren's in a similar situation. Darren coaches, got a young child, got a missus, got a house, got a job. And yeah, the same sort of struggles, isn't it?
Yeah. What day are we now? Sunday.
Sunday.
I think I've only trained Tuesday this week. Just trying to find time to get in, and then working around other stuff. So yeah, I'm in a similar position now. Trying to figure out when to come in, when I can, trying to sort the baby out to get him minded while his mum goes to work and things like that. So I can
well, it was harder then. It's hard now because I'm on my own now, but obviously Lola's a little bit older and the gym's mine, and it's my full-time job, so I have to be there
I try
every
and bring
day,
him in
day
here,
in, day out.
so I can get in with him, so have a weekend, or if I can get him in through the week with me, just so I can get in, I'll try and do that as well. Yeah,
get to the gym and find a babysitter and just give them to them.
Well, we
and
came
train.
in last week.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah,
so hold my baby.
Heidi!
Well, Heidi said a few times, just bring him
Heidi!
in. I'll look after him for you. He won't go running out the door.
That's always like the battle royal, isn't it? You've got like the young guys, they can come in training 8 times a day, no misses, no bills, no responsibilities. I'm hitting it. Key, why are you not training? I'm like, don't worry about me, lad. You know, and and then you got everybody else who have got like life shit going on. And then the 2 clashes happen. And then if the young guy doesn't win, especially against me, he never wins. No, I'm like, well, how shit are you then?
Do you not think that's the beauty of MMA and the gym like lifestyle though?
Yeah.
This is what draws me to it so much and what I love about it. There's so many warps of different lives.
Yes.
And no matter where you go in the world, you'll always fit in if you walk into a BJJ gym or MMA gym, if you train, you'll always fit in, especially nowadays. But your own gym, it becomes like a family, doesn't it? And every, like you say, there's young kids that have got like no commitments, then you've got like your dads, that, like you've got everyone from every walk of life. But when it's that time and that hour when the time comes on straight, you're all at what, like that is what I love about it the most. That's what gave me my strength. Like I love it, like absolutely. And we use all pulled together. Maybe not outside of the gym, you might not see the people. Like obviously you've got your ones that you will and that, but in the gym, it's almost like that door shuts and it just becomes a family. And I believe every gym's like that.
It's like therapy.
Yeah, massively.
You know, because
there's nothing else like it, is there?
No.
There actually isn't.
No. Like,
and when you're in the world, you realise how good it is, like how much good it is.
I think one of our friends, Kinney, Kindex. That's the only time I'm going to say Kindex on this show. Fuck Kindex. Right? He says he's like some scally from Bootle, and he hangs around with a guy called Sibbo, who's a posh cunt from Chester, and he goes, "If I never trained jiu-jitsu, we would never like meet and hang out because we're on two different
different people."
But it says because we're all in this one environment, you've got like people from this area, people from that area, people who are old, people who are young, people like me who are just completely different. You know, all coming along.
On the mats, everyone's
you all like
equal.
each other.
I was just about to say, it doesn't matter what your status is in life.
Yeah.
On the mat.
Yeah, you're on the mat and you're doing it.
I read something somewhere once as well about there was this businessman, wealthy, this, that, the other, and he came on the mats and he was a white belt. And then there was a guy with not much in life, this and that, but he was a black belt. And outside, they were on totally different levels, but on the mats, it was like different. I mean, I get that as well, but I do think everyone's equal on the mat. Even belt levels, being smaller and like teeny tiny weight and stuff, like belt levels to me, obviously, like there's no shame in I get tapped out by lower belts. Of course I do, especially when they start learning shit, the little twats. I know, it's annoying, eh? It's annoying.
Like little Sean,
I
like
showed you that.
Like,
you're not allowed to use it on me. But it's like, it is mad, like everyone becomes an equal. Everyone's there to learn. Even at a high belt, like a black belt, like we're still learning.
No, you're still a brown belt. You're not like us.
It's just, you know.
I beat you.
You're not like us. You're not like us. You're not like us. You're not like us.
He doesn't get anything on me.
But it's true though, isn't it? It's like there's
that
like ranking, isn't there? But everyone is still equal, and it don't matter even if you get to the top. Like I get my first degree this year. I'm a first degree black belt this year. Yeah.
Just giving it away now, isn't they?
Yeah, I know. I'm getting old. But it's still, everyone's still learning. I'm still learning.
So you started coaching. So when did that transition come? When you started to become a gym owner and taking more of a upfront role in that, because obviously you co-own the gym, correct? Right? And you know, you've got your own fight team being built up. They've come down here, really, really good kids. When did that transition happen, when you started to really become not Hazel the coach, Hazel the jiu-jitsu practitioner, but Hazel the businesswoman, the boss lady?
So really, it was when Gary approached me, and Gary said, I want to open another gym. So we trained at a gym that he'd already been involved in, but there was all different owners. There was like a few of them, and he wasn't really making much money. I'd had the conversation about him because I'm quite like, if you're going to do something, be successful at it. I'm very much like, if you're going to like do something, like make it happen, so to speak. And I love Gary dearly. Like I said, he saved my life, and I genuinely believe it. He's took me under his wing. I'm like a daughter to him. So I was sat there watching him work so hard at this gym and not really get anything out of it in a weird way. He was getting what he got out of it as a coach and as a person in the gym, but he wasn't really making as much money as what I thought he should. Me personally, I mean, I don't want to step out of turn by saying that, but I had the conversation with him and I said, listen, you need to be like doing more with this. Like, it wasn't even that he was not making the money he should be, but I could see there was so many more avenues where you could make money.
More potential to it.
More potential, yeah. And I said it to him, and it wasn't the fact that I wanted to go into business with him or anything like that. I just wanted him to do more with the position he was in a way, because I cared about him so much. And he was like, obviously, he was getting older and stuff, and I thought I wanted him to be really successful in a way, because he was just so lovely, Gary. Like, he never has done it to make money or anything like that. He would never, in a way. But I just saw that. So I remember having the conversation with him, and then a few months later, he must have played on his mind or something a little bit. I'm not really sure, but he approached me and he said, look, I'm thinking of breaking away and opening up on my own, but I want to do it with you. And I was like, what? Like, why? I don't know why. But obviously he's always seen something in me that I couldn't even see until a lot later on. And he was like, yeah, I think it could be successful, this and that. And then we just started throwing ideas. And I think he did it with me because he's very lazy and he knew that I would do all the work. And I did do all the work. Gary, hope you're watching. You'll have to get Gary on with me one day, because honestly, we do bounce off each other like. But and I think he knew that I would be the drive behind it, because I had this big vision. I always used to speak to him about like a fight team. Like, it's still my ambition. Like, I look at this gym, our gym. I don't know if you've ever been down to Savage, but it's just like it's probably the length of about the end of the cage to the back of that wall and about way thickness. We haven't got a cage. We've got a little area for bags, a little tiny area for strength and conditioning. I still say now, my dream is to have my own cage. Like, I will not stop until I've got a gym set up where I've got my own cage, and like, I will drive. I want a fight team. I want this. I want that. And I'm driving for it. And Gary's always like, yeah. And also,
just for the record, that's a jiu-jitsu cage and not any of the BDSM cages, anything like that.
Or is it?
Or is it? Maybe. If you're into those whips and chokes, then you never know.
But yeah, I don't know.
I
Obviously, I've got to make money. I'm a single mum. Like, I've got to survive. I've got to make things work. But I always wanted Gary to as well. Like, he's done so much for me. This is something that I can give back to him. So when we started throwing the ideas about, I was like, if you do this with me, I will make sure it's a success. And I promised him that I would give it my all, because he deserves it, and he deserves to be. It's like, now I do all the Savage shows and that. Obviously, Gary Gary does nothing on them Savage shows. Let's have it right. Like, he does nothing. I run around, I get all the fighters matched, I do this, I do that. All he does is show up on the night and do the mic, like being the big Gary that he is, because he is fantastic, and he deserves to sit back and not do anything. He's put so much into so many people, and like myself as well. And he makes, like, if we make anything from the shows, he makes an equal cut, and I do all the work. But that's how it should be. I owe him that.
You're paying it back to him.
Like, he at the gym, like, obviously I'm a coach at the gym. Gary's head coach, obviously, but we have such a big team of coaches there. We have a different coach every night, pretty much. And Gary's like pulled back more and more, because he's had 2 hip replacement now, obviously, and I'm stepping forward, keeping the things churning, and I don't care if I don't see him at the gym all week. He deserves to sit. Like, he's done so much for so many people. He has played his dues, like, and that's why I'm happy. And I think that's why he took me on board as well, because he knew I'd look after him. He knew, is it?
No, it's a good thing.
But it is good. So yeah, I'm just a big driving force, and I think that's when it happened, when the transition went over, is he was just like, look, I want to start somewhere else. I want you to come over with me. Obviously, he'd already pushed me into sort of coaching. He already had belief in my fight IQ and what I can do for fighters and what advice I was giving them and stuff anyway. He knew I was obsessive to the point that I will make it successful. And he also knows that I don't take any bullshit. Like, when people come on the mats, the last person they expect to give them a pen. And honestly, like, people have crossed the line, and I'm the first one to be like, no, absolutely not. In fact, Gary steps in sometimes and he's like, Hazel, maybe there's a better way to say things. Like,
he's like the Jason, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, we always say with good and bad cop.
I always say with Jason, he can get a splinter in his arse how much he sits on the fence.
Really?
He can. He just sits right on that fence, Jason
Gary's the same.
Doesn't get involved in anything.
Yeah,
Leaves it to poor Heidi or me.
Yeah.
Key. sort this out, lad.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the calm to my. So we do genuinely say good and bad cop, because in the gym you've got MMA Hazel and BJJ Hazel. No one fucks with MMA Hazel. BJJ Hazel we can have a laugh with. She's like the character. She's the fun girl.
Yeah.
But MMA Hazel doesn't honestly, she's horrible. I don't even know who she is. Like when she comes out, it's like, whoa, we don't play with her.
I think I've met her once.
She's a horrible girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her. You know?
Did you?
I thought she was all right. You know,
BJJ Hazel's loads more fun.
choke her out, didn't I?
But Gary's just dead chill. Like Gary likes to see the good in everything and this and that, which I do as well to a point. But yeah, we work well together though. It works. Nice.
So how did this FCC come along? Because presenting, it was FCC.
FCC.
It's UFC Fight Pass. Yes, I've seen it. And you also go around all the gyms. You do interviews with Kurt, Jip.
Yeah.
All the other fighters
a new
as well.
promotion now as well called King of the Octagon. Started working for them as well.
King of the Octagon as well.
Yeah.
How did that start? How was it developed? And where's it going to go?
So it started, I was travelling up to, obviously I work very closely with John Boswell. For the people that know John Boswell, he does all the UK Pitbull stuff. Obviously FCC is sponsored by Pitbull. Are you on your second one already?
Is that what your socks are for?
My socks, yeah.
You said before.
Look at my little Pitbull socks. If I took these socks off, you'd see my crawly, bloody, grippy BJJ feet.
Not really into the feet. If I don't do ankle locks and I don't do...
Do you not do little toe holds?
I like a toe hold, but I'm a gi guy. I do the no guy. I'm a foot sniffer now and again.
Yeah.
And all that, but they don't pass the guard, do they?
Well, see, I'm not in. Well, I'm into grabbing feet and stuff, but my feet are like little grippers. They're literally BJJ claws.
Can we see the feet?
Yeah.
Let's see the feet.
Honestly, they're like claws. Look at this, what my feet can do. I'm not even joking.
Let's have a look at these.
Oh, God, can you see them on the camera, right? So look,
Oh.
they're like. But if you give me your arm,
No,
I know
no,
you're like, no,
no.
let's not do it. Come here, give me your arm. Look at this.
I want to touch it.
Look, so if I get my foot on it, look, I can grip.
Oh my
You
God.
feel it?
No.
Pulling your hairs out your arms.
I know.
That's bad, isn't it?
Do you know when
So
if I'm ever with a young lady or an old lady or a lady and I'm trying to hold on, that's what I'm going to think of. Your feet.
But yeah, so FCC. So I was going to a lot of so sorry about that. It's all right. I'm going to get you singing and everything later.
God,
Where's my other sock? Right. So yeah.
Leave them off. Can't see them.
Pitbull socks. Very, very funky. Jealous of them, aren't you?
It's weird because I've been doing
really
jiu-jitsu for 15 years and I've been around feet for 15 years.
Yeah,
Still to
they
this day,
are
I'm just
actually
like,
brilliant. Love them.
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 15 years and I've been around feet for 15 years and still to this day I'm like, oh, it's feet.
Really?
It's feet.
When someone's foot's just like by your face.
Or kicks you in the face.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yeah, Bruno's foot in your face. It's like a big flat foot. It's like,
all of his foot about that.
I know. Massive foot, isn't he? God knows how big his...
See, I don't mind feet. But yeah, so I'd been going down to like some events, FCC events. Obviously, we were involved with John Boswell's our manager at the gym. Like he sort of runs the desk and stuff, and he's basically the UK Pitbull guy. FCC is sponsored by Pitbull, so FCC Boswell can go to any show and get VIP cage-sized seats because he's. So I used to go. Like I've been down with Boswell. Obviously, Adam knew me anyway from years and years ago. I've put fighters on FCC before, and years ago. But I think he just approached me. Adam was like, right, we're looking for someone to do some interviewing and some like bits and pieces. And I thought of you, Hazel, and I was like,
why didn't you think of me?
I don't know, because you're not as glamorous as me, Kieran, clearly. He said he wanted someone glamorous.
Good point. I've got that rugged.
You could put my hair
look.
extensions on though, and you could become me. And we could sneak you in. We could sneak you into FCC with a microphone. They would just think you were me.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm black.
Oh,
we don't sneak anywhere. You know what I mean? Especially in the north.
Nothing to do with
you
being
know
a
what
boy
I mean?
then, no.
No.
Just
no. Like that's how having a black James Bond. You know he's a spy. Yeah. What are you doing in this rich event, mate? You can't afford to be in here. Not a chance. Get back behind your rims.
Apparently, Adam wanted someone to be glamorous, and I was like, "You sure you want me?" Because obviously in the gym I'm not glamorous at all.
No one is.
No one is. Like it's stupid. Like yes, I'm a makeup artist, so I can. This is not how I woke up, clearly. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, all right then, no worries. Didn't really think it was serious at first, because he just approached us while we were watching the fights. He was like, oh, Hazel, I'm thinking of getting like another, I want a female, but he did say, I want someone that knows what they're talking about, that's been in the industry, that knows, that trains, that fights, this, that, the other, like, that knows what they're talking about, that's not just another pretty face, that's actually got a bit of background. And I was like, right, and obviously he's known me for so many years, like, not personally, like I'd say we've never really chatted loads, but obviously I've seen him at FCC over the years. And he was just like, yeah, thing. So I was just like, yeah, I didn't really think I'd hear much of it. And then he actually invited me. He messaged me and said, do you want to come down to the next FCC VIP seats for you? I was like, yeah, brilliant. And I thought he was going to ask me if I had any fighters for the next show. But he was like, no, I want you doing this interview and stuff. And I was like, oh, right, okay, brilliant. And then he came to see me at the house, went out for food with him and Molly. And and then it just sort of got carried away. But I think the more I did it, I think Adam didn't really know me properly, but I've got quite a big character. Do you know what I mean? Like, I literally, when it comes to MMA, myself, MMA or BJJ, I can talk about forever. Do you know what I mean? So, they got me interviewing in that, and then they seen like this different side. So then they got me doing like fun stuff, and like it just sort of like spiraled. Then I got like, obviously, I've had like other promotions now approach me and say, but I think they like the fact that I know what I'm on about. Do you know, in a weird way, I know what I'm on about. I'm not just someone stood there interviewing. Like, I've been there, I've done that, and I know. Do you know what I mean? I train, I coach. So I think it helps, and I think it helps the fighters as well, talking to me, where
to talk to you about
like to look at me, you wouldn't think, but obviously because they know I do know what I'm on about, I think they relax, because I tend to get really good rapport out of people, like, and I can chat away to people, and I think they know that I'm genuinely interested in what they're saying, and I've genuinely got like input that makes sense. It's not just another. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, because
so clever, Adam. Clever.
Sorry, that first show. What you that first show.
You're teasing him with a good time, aren't you? There.
Right.
I'm definitely better than Darren.
Is that one yours?
In what?
Did you?
No, I'm all right. I'm okay.
Am I having that?
Yeah, sure,
you
without the lime, is it ching ching?
No, what I was going to say is, so that first show that you've been asked to report on or interview on, how do you go about leading up to that? What was you doing? Like, did you have questions set, or like?
To be honest, I just wung it at first.
Yeah.
Because Molly said to me, I'll be totally honest now as well, and I said this to Molly and Adam at the time, when I got approached by FCC, I'd stopped focusing on, like, I only focused on my boys. Yeah. And if they were fighting someone, I'd look at them. I'd get my knowledge and my do all my research on whoever they were fighting. I didn't care about anyone else on the scene. I was so focused on my own gym and my own fighters. If we had like, and we've only got a little team of amateur fighters, so if they were fighting anyone, I'd look up them and I'd see where they come from. So I'd know a bit about gyms and stuff. I didn't know who Curtis Campbell was. I didn't know who Conor Walsh was. I didn't know any of these big stars like Emil, all these people I was meant to be interviewing. I hadn't got a clue. And I said that to Molly and Adam at the time. I was like, I'll be honest with you, like, as much as I know about fighting and stuff, I don't go out like spying on all fighters.
How'd you lead up to your first
show, I sort of just wung it. So I'd obviously Molly, I was quite open with Molly going, listen, I don't know who these are. So she gave me a little bit of fighter facts. So that's how it started. She messaged through little fighter facts. And then she was like, I went and did an interview with Curtis and Conor where it was like a game. So we played like 2 truths, 1 lie. So that was a nice like little breaking thing to get into it. And she sent me up to Manchester's top team. And she was like, I just want you drilling moves and stuff, like interview the coach bit. So I went in there blind, like with a few little fighter facts. And pretty much, and she went, Hazel, you're just a character, just go and be yourself and just chat to them, really. There wasn't any sort of like direction. And as I've got to know the fighters through it now, I still don't really follow any direction. I have like my questions and things that I can ask and stuff like that, but it sounds mental. Like you came telling me that you were prepared for the interview. I pretty much wing it.
You can
like
wing it.
I do wing it pretty much. Molly and Adam always tell me if there's anything specific they want doing. So we stick to that brief. Like I do a lot of like the showing moves and stuff like that. So we'll stick to the brief, but then pretty much they're happy for me to just be me as well. They're not really bothered. Like they're just like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, oh, can I do this? Like. And King of the Octagon have been pretty much the same as well. They were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, right, I've had this thing where I want to do like, would you rather? So everyone that I interview, can I play a little game of would you rather at the end? And they were like, right. I was like, no, it'll be brilliant. And they were like, right. So then I did it. And they were like, that was brilliant. I was like, I know.
So you got like completely free remit to interview?
To a point, because I am also crazy dangerous.
So...
But they can edit anything, so I think they do just leave me to it.
This is raw and unfiltered, crazy dangerous. So if you was playing Would You Ever...
Would you rather?
Would you rather, would you ever, whatever, it's the same thing.
Well, would you ever?
I've lived a life, put it that way, right? And me and Davin are your fighters. How would you ask us questions?
Okay, so...
And I mean like, properly, without the edit.
Oh, so I just sort of do it. I just like, would you rather a broken ankle or a broken wrist?
Oh, a wrist.
Wrist.
Yeah, because I can use my other one.
Would you rather broken... Wow. So that's why he laughs and smiles all the time, because he's got a happy hand, ladies and gentlemen.
God.
You heard it here first.
If it was my left wrist, then my left wrist, yeah. Because I use my right wrist to write and whatever, not the way he's thinking.
Okay, so if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Influence.
Influence. Cute.
You will tap.
Yeah.
See? You will shut the fuck up and let me go to sleep.
Flying.
You just want to fly?
Just to get away somewhere.
Why would you?
Teleportation would be better than flying.
Yeah, teleportation, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that Superman joke, isn't it?
Like that film years ago, what was it called? The Runner, is it?
No, that Superman joke, you can fly. You've not heard that one?
Tell us that
It's a dad joke.
So Superman's like flying over Metropolis,
Yeah.
right? Just mind his own business.
Yeah.
And he sees Wonder Woman on a rooftop, just like there, strung, ready to go.
Is this
So you
a
think-
joke?
Yeah, so he thinks to himself, I can just fly down there, do my thing, get out. So he flies down there, does his thing, flies out, and Wonder Woman goes, what the fuck was that? And the Invisible Man goes, I don't know, my arsehole is killing me.
God.
Stop it.
So they fly, innit? That's what you.
It was a good joke.
Right, so tell me what your party trick is.
Ooh.
Do you notice how I've become the interviewer?
Yeah.
You
So
did
switched
say
it
that,
around.
laughing.
I haven't really got a party
Go
trick,
on,
to be fair.
you've got to have a party trick.
I don't know if I do.
Anything.
No, I haven't got one.
No, you can't break dance or something.
Well, I know you would think that because I'm black and we can all dance. So I can see how you get that
Or a
stereotype.
rap. Do us a little rap.
Again, I know you would think that because I'm black, but as many people would say, I'm the whitest
Can you not
black
wiggle
man.
your ears or anything?
No.
Is it? To curl your tongue?
Oh, I can curl my tongue.
Go on then,
I've got a
party
good
trick.
tongue.
Wow.
No,
Right,
curling the tongue.
He comes back to sexual innuendos all the
You-
time.
no.
Connor last
Yeah,
time.
it's like you can't.
You went there.
I definitely didn't.
Ask
Did
Darren,
you
ask-
go there? Did you see that
ask Darren
coming
the
as a
question.
response?
Ask
Like,
Darren
go on,
the
what's your
question.
party trick?
Um,
That's what your party trick is, sexual innuendos.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Terrible behaviour, absolutely.
No idea.
It's a
No
good
idea.
job there's no kids here.
I think there is kids
I'm
there, to be
shouting at
fair.
him now. Do you see that? Taking full charge. Go on. Anyway, party trick.
I haven't really got one myself.
Oh my
Oh
God, you
my
two are
gosh.
boring.
I don't know, if you get me on the karaoke, you
Oh
won't
my
get-
God, me too.
You won't get me off it.
That is my
I'll
party
stay on
trick.
it.
We are
I'm
dads, though,
amazing.
you know. So
Right, give us a song
responsibilities.
then. Right, go on. You've got to sing a song. A little 3-second
I'm
song.
not doing a song.
I can't.
Yeah,
do
you've
that.
got to do
I'm
a
not gonna-
song.
You said three questions. You know, we come on the interview. I'm taking,
Yeah, I'll let you
taking
take
the power
charge
back.
of the part.
I'm taking the power back right
It's
now.
only because I'm like the best singer in the whole wide world. So
From Blackpool.
yeah, I'm brilliant. Honestly, I turn heads and shock people with my singing. They're just like, "What the hell?" You'd
Exactly.
never,
I was thinking the
ever
same thing, but not the
expect
same way you're thinking of it.
it. Is it? Right, go on. You can take charge again.
Yeah,
That's
taking
me
charge
done.
again.
Sorry
So
about that. I get
anyway,
carried away,
your fight
is
team.
it?
So obviously, I know you touched on your fight team. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about your fight team because they're young.
Very young.
Are they all amateurs?
Yes,
Are they going
we've
pro?
got no pros.
What's the situation at the moment? Then going
So
forward?
we've got no pro fighters that are active at the moment. Our pro fighters are more coaching now.
Yeah.
So actively, we've got a few, I'd say, just coming up to make amateur debuts very, very soon. So I do the Savage Show.
So what's the Savage Show?
So the Savage Show is basically a show that I started to do.
Plug
as
the Savage Show.
Yes, we'll plug it.
To all my 47
it's,
viewers.
Obviously, woo! Obviously, we all know interclubs are like a stepping stone, and then amateur scene is amateur scene. I believe now that the amateur scene is so ahead of the game
Same
now.
as last
Like,
time, really,
honestly, these amateur fighters are at a serious level.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. It's not like it used to be back in the day when I was there. So I started the Savage Show because I was getting lads coming into the gym training and they're wanting to fight. And like not in a bad way, but interclubs just weren't doing it.
In what way?
Because you've got 2 winners at an interclub. There's certain rules at an interclub. It's all very nicey. Yeah. Don't get too carried away. Like, you can't cave someone's head in, and they all want to cave each other's heads in. Let's be honest. So it was too nicey. So there was nothing like around us, which was like an in-between stepping show. And also, I was losing fighters. So I'd get these lads with potential that was because they couldn't train long enough to get to an amateur level without getting bored and the temptations of life taking over, and I'd lose them because they're desperate to fight. But they're never at that level of putting them in for amateur. They just won't stay. Like, the amateur level's high now. So what I decided to do was get the Savage Show, because it was a little bit up from an interclub, but it wasn't quite amateur level. It doesn't affect your fight record, but it's set up like a show. It's in a club. The guys sell the tickets, make money off the ticket sales. So it's all exactly like an amateur show, but it's not affecting fight records. And obviously the level's that little bit lower because they've not had fights. They're not had the what?
What's the rule set?
So it's basically amateur A, except no headshots on the ground. And that's just for insurance reasons and to keep them safe. And obviously if they're under 16, there's no headshots standing as well. So it's pretty much amateur B rule set. It's amateur B, really. So basically it's full rules, head kicks allowed, no slams, no headshots on the ground. So they can work the ground game a bit more as well and get that learning experience.
How long are the rounds?
3 2 minutes.
3 2-minute rounds.
So it's like that little step up.
I'll tell you what, you know, me and Connor are going to have our little...
Oh my God, get on the Savage Show.
Exactly.
Main event.
2-minute rounds. I can. Connor can survive for 2 minutes.
Just about. Against you, Kieran,
and
just about.
He won't go on his fight record neither, so he won't give me the whole I'm 11 and 2 business, you know.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, should do it.
So what makes the Savage Show different to the FCCs, the UKFCs, the Bite UKs?
Well, it's pretty much the same setup. Like, we try and make it as much like an amateur show as possible to give them that in-cage experience, the feel of the night, the atmosphere. So it's pretty much the same, but obviously it doesn't affect the fight records. There's no pro fights on it.
Do you mean the fight records, the amateur fight records?
Yeah, it doesn't affect their amateur fight records. It's amateur B. So it doesn't go on record, if that makes sense.
So you still have a fight record at amateur?
At amateur, you get an amateur record,
I do? I don't even know. It's been that long ago.
Yeah.
Since you had yours.
So we don't talk about mine.
So amateurs, you get a fight record.
6-0,
but I think
well,
some people take their amateur record dead seriously now, and I don't think they should. I do believe that that's the time to lose and grow. But some people are like, oh, if they get... Like, I've got a lad who's a 1 and 2 amateur record, so it's like he's had more losses than wins, but it doesn't matter. Just keep fighting, keep training, keep going. It doesn't matter. When you're pro. That's your record. You need to be honest.
How old are you, lads?
So we've got the few that are coming through that I'm hoping they go amateur by the end of the year. They're going on the next Savage Show, which is in a couple of weeks, and then I'm putting on Manchester Top Team are doing a show where they've got amateur B on it, so that doesn't affect the record. I'm going to throw them on that. Yeah, it'd be. It
if
should
we can
be
get
good.
some free tickets.
But them guys are like, one lad's 17, one lad's 16. I've got another amateur fighter who's had a fair few fights. He's coming up to... How old's Ben now? I think Ben's maybe 18 or 19. I don't know. He's not got... I can't remember, but my brain doesn't work sometimes.
He's got bum fluff.
Is it? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
he caught me in a
17.
fucking darce the other day, actually, little swat. Yeah. So he's getting good. I like it.
These youngsters, they know all this. I know.
But he is massive. He's
you know, I had a little kid, he tried to try and ankle lock me. I was like...
He probably did ankle lock you.
No, he tried to ankle. You said how big my legs are.
You
said how big my legs are.
You nearly
I
lost
looked
a
at him
foot,
like,
was it?
Negro, please. Come on.
So we've only got a small team. I'd say I've got I'd like to say about 8 that I know could be really good and on the amateur scene. I've got about 2 that I believe will be superstars if they stick to it, like mega stars. I've got a little lad, and I've seen him literally come from nothing, and now he's ready to go amateur at the end of this year. And if his work ethic is amazing, like he's in that gym day in, day out. He's quite quiet, but he's so dedicated. And he, honestly, the more I've watched him and the more I've seen him improve, the more I think, oh, you could be special, you. Like, and it's so nice to see. I just hope he sticks to it. I hope he don't get bored, because I've held him back a little bit as well. He's 16.
16.
16, and he's absolute mega.
Life
he's mega.
at that age can get in the way times and whatever.
Distraction. I don't think he's the type to get distracted though. He's quite quiet and all that. He's not interested in outside noise. He's very for the gym. And honestly, if he sticks to it, he'll be mega. Like, I watch his wrestling and I think, fucking hell. Yeah. Who's taught you that? Because you're better than the coaches. No, I'm joking. But
would you ever expand though to like? Because obviously I know that you've got the Vicky Hatton boxing accreditation. Research, lad.
Research.
And
sponsored by Khan's Gym.
I know, and you do your BJJ and you do the MMA. So would you expand that brand into the different sections?
I don't know. I want, obviously, I was saying before, I want a bigger gym. I want to stay going with the gym and the fight team. I want to go on the little steps that we're on. I think I'm on a little ladder and I'm just going with it. But I'm working with the FCC and now obviously King of the Octagon. It sounds weird, but personally now I feel like I'm going down this like interviewer presenter state, like, and I love it. Like, I love it so much. I love meeting people and doing like UFC. When you asked me to come on here, I was like, oh my god, this is the sort of thing I want to be doing now. This is where I'm at in my career. I want to say, like you, Kieran, we do all that work graft on that, but we like to sit and have a chat, is it? We just like to chat about what we love.
This is basically what we would have talked about on the mat. It's one of the reasons we decided to do it, because I'm the biggest shit talker on the mat. So it says, let's just put that on video.
Yeah, no, but I do see myself going down this route of presenting, and as much as I'll always be, like, honestly, when I say MMA is my life, like, MMA is from the minute I wake up at 5, 6 a.m, whatever time I get up, MMA is my whole life. Apart from my daughter, but the whole reason I'm doing MMA and I'm making it my whole life is to give her everything. I'm on my own, do you know what I mean? I give her everything, I have to. But it's my whole life. And I find now this presenting route and stuff, it's like now I'm at the age I'm at as well. Obviously, I can't slog it out on the mats with the young guns like I used to. It is just what it is. And when you've got a black belt on, it's a fucking target on your back. It is what it is, do you know what I mean? And the injuries catch up on you, the recovery catches up on you. That's just reality of the training that we're in. And I'm a big, this is my life, and this route of presenting and stuff, I feel like it's just another door opening for me, like another positive thing that's come out of my journey. And I embrace it, like I love it. So I want to do loads more of that, but I do want the gym to grow, and I want to see like the team develop. I want to get a cage eventually, a bigger premises, whatever it comes to. And if I can get one amateur fighter from amateur now, like we've got these lads like now, amateur to pro, and see them have the first pro fight, the first amateur fight, and see them have the first pro fight, I'll be a happy coach. I'll be such a happy coach. Just watching that journey, like wherever they go and whatever they do, just to watch that journey, it would be amazing. I'd love that as a coach. I'd love it, because I haven't had that yet. I haven't had my own fighter from my own fight team go from amateur to pro yet. So I think that's something that I really want to achieve. I do. I want them to achieve it. Like, I love watching people successful. Like, be successful. Like,
and one thing that you'll be really impressed about right now is what we call in the industry a segue. And we're talking about achievements, and one of the biggest achievements you got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. How did that feel? How did that feel? Because it was in the paper, you was 140 at the time, women with a black belt in jiu-jitsu in the UK.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, I never wanted it. I wasn't happy with Gary. He knew I never wanted it, and he promised me that he wouldn't do it. So I half knew it was coming, but I was like, don't you do that to me.
How long have you trained in it?
So I started martial arts about 20 years ago, but Flola's 14 now, Flola's 14 this year.
15 years you've been training
About
jiu-jitsu.
16, 17 years, about 16, 17 years, yeah. Yeah, he loves his research, doesn't he? About 16, if she's 14, about 16 years I've been doing just, when I met Gary, I was doing kickboxing for a bit before that. I've been in martial arts about 20 years, but jiu-jitsu itself about 16 years now, yeah.
So how long did you get your black belt? Did you get your
well,
first
I'd
degree?
say it's took me about 10 years because I had a bit of time off, obviously, when I gave birth to Lola. Injury time and time out, I'd say I got it after training about 10, 11 years. Yeah, because I took a few years off when I had Lola. I couldn't find time to train. Like, I'd be going down now and again. But like I said, I was struggling getting there until I got the excuse that I was coaching. I was struggling getting there. It was hard to get back to it, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I never wanted it though. I never really wanted a black belt. I never.
For what reason?
Just because I never really did it. I mean, it was nice to get it and to achieve it. Don't get me wrong, like 100%. But I always knew that if I got that, it was a target on my back. I was meant to know shit. If I've got that on, I'm meant to know shit. I'm meant to know shit, and that's not real. And when you're a black belt, you realise that's not real. And when people say it's the start of your journey, it's sort of real. That it's so true. So I sort of didn't want to. I don't know why. I don't know. I was scared of it. I was scared of the black belt because people expect.
But you grow into it though.
1,000%.
And that's the thing. Like when I got mine last year from Jason Tan. It was a big thing.
Massive.
I actually trained for we do an Ironman here, and I actually thought, you know what, I'm actually going to get in a bit of shape for this because I talk a little bit of crap in the gym. So I know that a few people were going to try and come at me, you know. So I was like, do you know what, I'm going to be in shape for this. So when they do, moth. I just kick their ass, moth. And embarrass them. Moth.
It is a good achievement though. Like I'm very grateful. And the one thing with me is when I got my black belt, I knew, because Gary would never just give it me for the sake of giving it me, but I knew that he saw me through a whole journey. And like I said in my black belt speech, I don't know if you've done your research and watched my black belt speech, but I spoke about how I used to see myself as a donkey and I've developed into a unicorn. And unicorns are very rare little things, and that's what I believed.
There's not many female black belts.
At the time, there was 40 at the time.
And I was 40, 39. Got it just before my 40.
Yeah, now there's a few more that's come across.
No, I mean, like, just to have be a girl to have your black belt.
Yeah, it's massive. It is huge.
There's not many.
Well, I don't think there's many women that own their own MMA gym.
I
think I'm the only one.
Definitely,
From what I've researched, and I don't think there's any others that own an MMA gym.
Well, anyway, in passing, we've been talking about an hour. It's gone really quick.
We can just chat and chat.
We can. But no, just for the record, one of the reasons I did want to get you on today and have a chat with you is that I do believe that you're one of the females in the industry that are breaking glass ceilings all the time, achieving your black belt, going to FCC, doing your promotion, having your own fight team, owning your own gym. These are positions which not a lot of women are doing, and I think you did it spectacularly. So,
thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for Big D for being here, keeping things straight, and of course Michael and Will for everything they do behind the scenes. So thank you so much. Warehouse Jiu-Jitsu?
BJJ.
Warehouse BJJ?
Yeah.
We sponsor Warehouse BJJ.
Your rash guards.
I know, got to wear rash next time, haven't we?
We should all wear rash guards to promote our own gyms.
I don't know, because as Jason would say, too much good living. So, to the next episode. Thanks very much. Roll credits.